Yeah, welcome everyone. Been a bit of a break with the tech talks of late, just because I think we had Anzac Day, the last one we were meant to have, so we didn't get to kick that off. So it's been about a month. So yeah, today I've got the lead and I'll be talking all things Commerce Hub within HubSpot. So basically, I can't really say it's a new feature anymore. It has probably been around, for about a year. But it is something that I definitely noticed a lot of people haven't been utilizing, haven't been playing around with as much. And it is a really cool feature. It's a free feature that comes with HubSpot. Obviously, if you do use Commerce Hub and you do take payments, HubSpot takes payment for any transaction. But there are a lot of features, even if you're not going to use that you can still utilize within platform. So we'll go over that and we'll have a little look at Commerce Hub. I'll show you some examples of how to set some things up in there. We'll talk about how you can integrate a platform like Xero very easily so that you can have invoices, and we'll look at how you can sort of set up some workflows so that you could either create deals from invoices if there's not a deal already created, probably more like e-commerce brands, but then also to set up reminders to follow up invoices, automated emails potentially, but reminders for teams, someone in your team to actually follow it up. All right, so I'll just share my screen. And at any time as well, if you've got any questions, feel free to throw your hand up. All right, so it seems like my page, just one second, let's refresh that. My page seems to be frozen there. But what we've got here, thank you. What we've got here is the Commerce Hub. So like I said before, fairly newish feature, probably it could be even 12 months now, that's brought into HubSpot. HubSpot, again, keeps adding and adding new things. I definitely noticed as you go down this side, there's quite a lot of features, and HubSpot's actually just updated its menu board as well. So I think everyone's been forced into the new menu now. I know me personally, sometimes I've been doing demos or different things with HubSpot and I get a bit used to the old system. So sometimes, it can be a bit of a change. But what we've got here is we've got our Commerce Hub. So like I said, it's HubSpot's answer to finance. It doesn't replace the need to have Xero or to have other platforms. It just enhances it and again brings that into the one system for reporting and for data control. The Commerce Hub is broken up into a few different sections. We've got overview, payments, invoices, payment links, quotes, products, and subscriptions. So basically what it does allow you to do, set up pretty much the full suite of financial services within your business, whether that be one-to-one invoices or taking subscriptions so that you can manage that. And it's all integrated through Stripe. So you will have associated fees with that as you move through. When it comes to Commerce Hub, obviously creating invoices is the main thing, but how do we get started? Getting started in Commerce Hub all comes down to products. So products within HubSpot and within Commerce Hub are where you store what products you have in your business. As you can see here, we've got a list of different products. We've got monthly ongoing support packages and our on-demand packages, and then a few others down the bottom as well. Different areas, and like with everything within HubSpot, you've got the ability to edit columns, so you can control what you see. You can do that within deals. You can do that within contacts, and we can really come down here and just customize the view so that we can see whatever it is we want to be able to see. Create a product, really simple. TTP test. Enter your SKU. Just put that in. You can put a description. It's one time, weekly, recurring, monthly. This is where you can control if it's going to be a subscription, and that will be important for when you go to payment links. You put a term, but it's a one-time fee, so there's no term. Product type, you can customize this. In this instance, we're looking at a service. If you have a website page, you can add the URL there, and then you can put in a cost. Sorry, unit costs, not costs. So, it might cost $500 to make, and it's $1,000, and then it gives you a profit. And if you do want to insert an image, you can insert an image. Why that can be important if you're using quotes, you can show the image in the quotes as well, but I won't put one in because I haven't prepared one. So And it's really that simple. You can also, if you have a large list of products, do a bulk upload so that you don't need to go through and enter in 100 different products. If you are using other platforms like WooCommerce or Shopify or anything like that, it will automatically bring the products into HubSpot, so you have them all here. It's a really simple step. A lot of people don't use these. If you are then creating quotes in HubSpot, these products will appear as a line item, so then you can also report on that. Sometimes people aren't using quotes in HubSpot and might just use a field, which is still fine. It does the same sort of thing. I suppose the key thing about this product page, it isn't inventory management. It doesn't allow you to put in, I've got 100 of X product, and then every time I sell one, it takes one off. It doesn't allow you to do that at the moment. You would need to integrate a different inventory system, or you can actually as well utilize custom objects, which is an enterprise feature to manage inventory, for what we've sort of done previously. From there, quite simply, to create a payment link, we just go to payment links, and as you can see here, we've already got a range of different payments that we can see. It's got data around checkouts, gives us view to checkout rate. Obviously, once you have a payment link, you need to put it somewhere, and I'll show you how to do that after this as well, because you can insert it into a HubSpot website or even another WordPress website, because it's just a URL. So to create a payment link, why this can be really handy, we do, to be honest, have a different platform that we use for our ongoing subscriptions, mainly because we've been using it for so long, we couldn't be bothered to change pretty much. But what this is really handy for is, we've got those products go through a sales process, but we have products that people can purchase online through the website. So we thought it made a lot of sense. The other platform didn't allow us to, insert links in that manner and with this ease. So to be able to set this up, and you'll be able to see, the time I'll be able to do it. So quite simply, we just go to create a payment link. You can use templates. In this instance, I'm just going to use a blank because it's nice and easy. Select from product library. So I've already created the product, so I'm just going to add that in. And if I need to add any additional details or change anything, I can do that. We've got tax rates there. What we can do is we can set the tax rate down here, one-time tax fee, GST, and put in the percent of 10%. Oops, 10%. So that adds on automatically the GST component of that. Settings allow this link to create new deals. So what we can do is, through automation, we can set it up so that anytime with that, so it'll give us some options around what deal pipeline. So, if you've got an orders pipeline, you can automatically tick that box, and straight away it's going to, create a deal in that pipeline for you, which is really handy, obviously, for, again, tracking purposes. Pick that, you put a little text box, and then we've just got some other information around, how we can take payment. Preview of the link, and it pretty much just looks like a Stripe page, so it pretty much is. Where you control the way this is looked is you put it on a website page that has all the information about it, and then they can click a button to go to a checkout page. So quite simply, oops, put the name. Hit create. And we've got the payment link created, literally that easy. We've got different elements here. We can get the code if we want to embed it. Most of the time I just copy the link because it's generally that easy. And then all we need to do is from there, we just go to our website. I'll show you how to do that now. So we go to our website pages, ongoing management. And so I can pick my page there. This is a page we've already got created, and we've already got payment links inserted on here. We've got our HubSpot ongoing support packages. So obviously you would need, this is probably the step that does take the most time to have this website or landing page created. And obviously I won't go through and do that now because you need to look at content. You need to look at a lot of different things. What you can do within HubSpot is you can utilize AI to help generate, some of these pages. I won't go through that now because it does take like a couple of minutes to think, and we'll just be sitting here in silence. But if you do want to look at that, I'll show you how to sort of manage that afterwards. But quite simply, once we've got our page set up, if I have a button, and I'll just use this one because it's a simple one. Quite simply, you pick the link, external page, which will be a different page off this website, and you just simply copy and paste it in there. So that easy. So here we've got a bit more complexity around these boxes because actually if I click on this, it'll change. So when I click on this, it might be there's a few more steps because I've got to pick which one and then go down to the button and then insert it in. But it's really that simple. And I suppose that's the great thing, about the landing pages within HubSpot. So once I publish that, and straight away I can start driving traffic and people can start purchasing. And the great thing about that is they purchase, a deal's created, a record's updated, it takes payment and actually passes the information back to Xero as well. Now, as I was just mentioning, the AI features within HubSpot. So if I do want to create a landing page for any product that I'm about to, create, hopefully maybe it's easier, you've already got a page, but if I want to showcase products, and you can just follow this bouncing ball and create it. So yes, I'll just do that. I don't have any documents, and obviously I haven't given it any information at all. But again, the great thing about this is it's all just in HubSpot. It's all very easy. Obviously, it's going to take me a lot more time to manage this landing page and probably put in the content. And I didn't really give it any good examples. I probably should have said that, I've got a couple of products I'm going to sell and these are the products, and include like a button for those products. But again, really simple. I'll just say, as I said, it can take a minute, especially when I find that's always a lot slower when I'm on a call like this. But while that's doing it, are there any questions just about, that process? Very simple, very straightforward. Oh, sweet. I suppose actually probably the one thing I did have it listed down a bit later is how we actually set this up, because you do need to integrate a few things first before you can take these payments. Quite simply, App Marketplace, everyone hopefully should be using it, or at least have some apps connected if you're using HubSpot. If you're not, HubSpot, I believe, has over almost 2,000 apps. There we go, gives you the answer there. So quite simply, all we need to do to number one, integrate Xero. Just type in Xero. You can see here it's already installed for me. You just come here, click the install button. Once it's installed, that'll pop up and it'll ask you for login details. And quite simply, it's done. Once that happens, it'll take you to another page automatically, but you can access all your integrations in settings up the top here by going settings, down to integrations and looking at connected apps, because this is where you can control what the integration actually does. Go to Xero, just make sure I click the right one. So this will prompt you through, and what you've actually got is you've got 3 different options for what you can sync. So at the moment, I've only got invoices synced within HubSpot, and I'll show you what that looks like. You can sync contacts if you want. And you can also sync items or products within HubSpot. Very simple to use. There are preset fields that can be synced, and as I'll come to this, I'll go edit. You can sync for the invoices, one way. And then you've got properties here that you can map. And so you can select which properties are relevant. There are limitations. You can't generally use custom properties. You would need a different integration for that. But there are a list, there is quite a large list of properties that you can sync within Xero. You just put some limits so that if you didn't want to sync anything previous to what you were doing, then you can do that. Organize and then review, and then just save and publish. So again, very easy to use. And what that ends up looking like is You have an invoice section, where basically that will pull back all invoices from Xero into HubSpot. You can see which ones are open, which ones are paid, which ones are in draft, and you can see the link to the contact info. One thing to note about this integration is it does link, it will only connect back to the contact in Xero. So what I mean by that is if you've got someone who has been going through the sales process and you're working with, I don't know, the marketing director or whoever it is, but the email in Xero is linked to their accounts, it'll still create the record, but it's not going to associate it. You'd have to manually go and associate it to the deal and to the contact. You can still filter by the company name in here if you're searching for something. Similar to the product page, there's a wide range of fields. I can see the company name. I can edit these columns to show which data is appearing, which is really handy. And you can filter through these at the top as well. Additionally, we've got different links. We've got links for payments. So these are the payments for the payment links we just created, where you can see all payments that have gone through those links. And then again, you can see all the data there. It's all within HubSpot. And then we've also got a subscription section as well. So if you do set it up as a ongoing fee rather than what we just set up then as the once off, those ongoing subscriptions will be here. Are there any questions about that? It's all fairly straightforward, but like I said, it's definitely a feature that people are not using. And a lot of people that I've seen that have been using HubSpot for a while don't even have Xero connected. I understand some people don't want that data in here. They may not want all staff to be able to see invoice amounts and things like that. But at the same time, it is really handy, especially for if you have a sales rep and they're unsure if they've paid their last invoice, they don't need to ask accounts. They can just quickly check in the system. All right, the next thing we'll just look at will be workflows and how we can use workflows within Commerce Hub. A couple of key ones I believe are pretty relevant. Number one, follow-ups. So if we do have overdue invoices, and we have someone else who's responsible for following them up, we can set follow-up reminders at a certain stage. One thing I would note about that is that just be aware that it's controlled from Xero. So Xero has it as open. So the client might have paid, but if you haven't reconciled it in Xero, it's still going to show as open. So it's just one thing to be aware that you don't want sales reps following up someone if they've already paid, because that'll annoy them, confuse them, make them question themselves. So it would be relevant just to make sure that the accounts team are handling those quickly and correctly. So just how to create a workflow. Number one, go to the workflow tab. This is actually just updated again in the last couple of weeks. You just have a different screen, but basically what you pick manually triggered, and then you pick your record. So in this instance, we're going to create a workflow off invoice. And then we add a trigger. I'm just going to go lead status. Oh, sorry, not lead status, invoice status, and is unknown. Oh, sorry, not unknown. Invoice status. Oops. Invoice status is open. Save and continue. I'm going to put a delay on that because obviously it's going to be open straight away. And instead of a calendar date, I'm just going to set an amount of time. So until a set amount of time, there we go. And so you want to give it a bit of time depending on your terms. So it's going to come into the system as open the day it's created. You're obviously not going to create a follow-up the next day, depending on what your terms are. I don't know if you've got 30-day terms, or I think we've got 7-day terms. So maybe after 21 days, so that's 2 weeks of being overdue, or even 14 days, we might create a task for someone to follow it up. So I'm just going to go to the CRM options, create task, and then I'll just click on this. But to do immediately, so that just means after 14 days, it's going to be created. Email reminder, let's scroll down. And probably the main one is who I assign it to. So, the existing owner of the invoice, or you might have someone who specifically will follow these up. Hit save. Name the invoice. Generate a description with AI quickly, so it'll see what we're doing. Hit save. And then from there, we just simply review and publish. And I won't publish that because I don't want that on. And that's as simple as it gets. I suppose, are there any questions just about anything with Commerce Hub? There's obviously a lot more things you can do with it. I think having a strategy around setting up payment links and different things on your website is important. Additionally, how you drive traffic to your website and those pages is also very important. But yeah, a really simple feature, a lot of features that you can use very simply that don't take a lot of time to set up. Like I just sort of went through there. I've done all that in 20 minutes. I'd probably do it quicker if I wasn't talking through stuff. Is there any questions about how to use Commerce Hub around any of the features that I've gone over today? Cool. Are there any questions about anything else relating to HubSpot or AI? We do have Nat here as well today, so feel free to ask anything. And but if not, as all good as well, we'll finish up. Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for a good tech talk, short and sweet, which is always always good on a Friday. Everyone have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Cheers, guys. Bye.